All right, so we've gotten a good way through EQing and compressing the drum kit. I added a little reverb to the snare too in the last video, and then a EQ afterward to brighten it up a little bit after the reverb, which is no problem. I mean, sometimes you just need to make a small change to what's going on and you don't want to mess with anything that's already there, so you just add another EQ. We still need to work on the cymbals. There's a lot of information going on. There's no panning, there's no EQ or compression. And that is something we need to look at. So let's take a little listen here with everything the way it is. Well, let's listen to it without the plugins real quick so we can. And I'm holding command and clicking on these plugins so they turn off. Okay, let's take a listen to the raw tracks. Cool. Now we're going to add the compression, the EQ, the reverb, everything back onto what's already there. Mind you, everything's done except the cymbals. We still haven't messed with the cymbals yet. Okay, cool. So there's a lot of information coming through. Let's check out the overheads. I mean, there's a lot of low-mid information coming. Here we go. I mean, the overheads are effectively cymbal mics, and they're acting like a room mic right now. So, first of all, they're mono, so let's pan them. Overhead left, that means we should probably go left with that guy. I'm going to go all the way. Some people say they don't like to go all the way. Some people do, depending on the situation. Sometimes I don't go all the way. I'm going to go all the way. Let's check it out. Now, I could EQ them individually, but I'm going to go ahead and throw a Q2 on the bus for the overheads, and let's take a listen to that. I don't need all that information down here. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to double click, bring it in. Let's listen to it while we bring it in. Now that might sound thin to you, but when it's in the whole mix, you'll be surprised, because all we really need from the overheads is a little bit of attack for snare, maybe a little attack for toms, and then of course the cymbals. But sometimes people want to boost the highs on the cymbals, which sometimes you need to do, but a lot of times you don't, and a lot of times you even need to cut highs out of the cymbals. So I'm not going to give it a 96 decibel cut, I'll give it a 48. And I'm going to bring the highs, the really, really highs of the cymbal down a little bit. Let's take a listen. Okay, so the reason I did that is because I want to listen to this music loud. I want to listen to this song loud, and if you have those cymbals just, their 20 kilohertz is just blaring into your ears, I mean, first of all, you're going to cause a lot of people to go deaf, but secondly, you're going to get fatigued really quickly, and you're not going to want to listen to it much longer. So you'll hear in my mixes, I usually don't have much cymbal, and the cymbal I do have is, I usually cut some of the highs out, so that's what we're doing here. But let's check it out in the mix and see what it sounds like. I'm muting the overheads for now, and let's see. Okay, so the other cymbals we're hearing, I think, is probably coming from the hat mic. Listen to all that. Okay. I'm going to put an EQ on that, and I'm also going to cut the lows out of that guy too. And do you hear the bite in those cymbals? I mean, look at, they're right on the edge of 20K. Watch. Look at that. I mean, they're right there. You don't need that. I mean, you can hear it, but you don't need it. You don't need it to enjoy the music. So I'm going to bring this down to 48. I'm going to cut some of that out too. Let's check it out. Yeah, about right there sounds good. All right, let's listen to it in the mix. Okay, just for perspective, let's take the EQ out of the cymbals and listen to it one more time. And with it in. Listen to that clarity. I'm gonna do it while it's playing. Listen. All right, so the drum mix just opened up big time. I'm gonna put an EQ with analyzer on the drum bus, and let's check out what the whole drum mix looks like now. Okay, so as you can see, it looks like there's a mid dip mostly, and then the snare comes in and fills that up. It's exactly what I look for in a drum mix. The guitars are going to come in there, fill up some of that mid space. The vocals are going to fill it up, but the kick is thumping and clicky. The snare is MIDI and sharp. The cymbals are bright and clear, but not sizzling to the point of breaking your ear hairs off. And the toms are full-bodied. That right there is a good start to a drum mix. If you're looking for a dry live drum mix, that is a lot of what we're looking at right there. Keep it simple, keep it straightforward, but experiment. Do what you want to do. Like I said, there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. It's all about what you want to do. And just experiment and get to a point where you feel really good with your mixes. And I'm telling you, it's such a rewarding thing once you finally start to feel comfortable with what you're doing. And all it takes is time and practice.